Yo, what is up, everybody? This is your boy Soto here with the Autumn Windbags. Back at you again with another video. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. We took a week off because I just didn't feel like doing it. But now I'm back doing it as its own little show because, I don't know, we want to fit some more stuff into our weekly recorded show. And those can get to be about an hour, sometimes even longer, hour 15. It's just too long, man. And with the good, the bad, and the ugly, with RJ and I going back and forth, that could take up most of the show. So we're gonna go ahead and do it like this. First off, make sure everybody you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment, whether you like it or not. Leave a comment, dislike, like, whatever. Subscribe so you know where you can get your content, and also in the very bottom corner here, hit that notifications button so you know when we go live or we drop a new video. You'll be the first to know and be able to comment. All right, now that all of that is out of the way, let's go with the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, so thrilling victory, right? 40-34 in Seattle. We hadn't had a road win this entire season. We win in overtime in Denver. We win in overtime in Seattle, 2 in a row. In that 5-game block that RJ and I spoke of, we said, you know what? If we can get 3 out of those 5, I think we'd be in good shape. 5 and 6 sounds a whole lot better than 4 and 7. But yeah, we got 2 out of the 5. Should have been at least 1 more, but what are you going to do? You know, it looks like the team is clicking. They are responding to the coaching. They are rallying around each other. Doesn't look like this team has quit on its coach. Doesn't look like this team has quit on each other. Doesn't look like this team is looking to tank. They're looking to put some good film out there, do their best, and see where they are at the end. And there was a lot of good that happened yesterday. I try to narrow it down because there's too many individual players to talk about. But we're going to start off with the good, like we always do. Easy for me to say. So the good. Anytime you score 40 points, put a 40 burger up, that's good. That's a good deal. You know, you're doing a good job. When you have to score 40 points in overtime, that means your defense didn't do as good a job. But I think in the flow of the game, we had some highlights defensively. And these are things that situationally we didn't do a very good job of the first, 9 games or so. So for right now, I think that what we're doing is we're not playing great defense overall, but what we're doing is we're coming up in the big spots these last couple of games. So let's take a look at the good, okay? First off, how can you argue with Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs had an amazing game, over 300 yards from scrimmage, 303 total yards, if you want to be exact, 229 rushing yards, 74 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground on long runs. We had a 30-yard run where he stiff-armed that defensive tackle, wiggled through a couple of blocks, and took off. And then we had that perfectly blocked first play from overtime, actually first play from that drive in overtime, the second drive of ours, 86-yard touchdown run. Just showed a lot of speed and a lot of burst that we haven't seen from Josh Jacobs in a while. He had to run away from a lot of defenders. And normally when you see a running back breaking such a long run like that, you see that running back get caught by a defensive back. The safety was the only guy that could catch him, and he got juked. And by the time he turned around, Jacobs was like 15, 20 yards ahead of him. He wasn't going to get caught. So it was a great job by Josh Jacobs. He's showing that he does need to get paid like a top back, because given the opportunity, he is a top back. And, is it going to be with us? It's going to be with somebody else. Who knows? But for right now, he's part of the good with us. 303 total yards, an excellent job there. Next, moving on, quarterback Derek Carr, 3 touchdown passes in a game. Finally, it was 700 and some odd days since two plus years since he's done this. And I agree with RJ in this respect. When you throw 3 touchdowns as a quarterback randomly, that's a pretty random stat. Just all these guys threw 3 touchdowns. Wow, okay, that's pretty random, right? But for it to not happen to you for over 2 years, that's saying something. Carr finally got off the schneid, had his 3 touchdown game. Let's hopefully don't have to wait another 2 years for that to happen. But great job for Derek Carr, 3 touchdown passes, one on a flea flicker to Mack Hollins, who was wide open. It was a great play design. Mack Hollins strolled in like nothing. Another one to Ameer Abdullah on a wheel route. It was a great, perfect pass. Great job by Ameer Abdullah getting open. Great job by Carr putting it on him. And then the last one was another great pass to Foster Moreau, who earlier in the game had dropped a very crucial 3rd down pass, forced us to punt. But here at the end of the game, I read somewhere that this pass only had a 30% chance of being completed because Moreau was so close to the end line in the end zone, and the coverage had to be dropped in perfectly, and it was a great pass, great catch. So great job, Derek Carr, 3 touchdowns finally after 2 years. Our defense with 2 takeaways. Before the last game as well. Our first 2 wins, we needed defensive touchdowns to win those games. We didn't get a defensive touchdown this last game against Denver, but today we got 2 takeaways, which really helped us out because we had 2 giveaways very early in the game in our own territory. So kind of evening out the playing field and flipping the field around a little bit, really helping us out. So great job with the defense there. On the defensive side, we look at Denzel Perryman. He had 9 tackles. He had an interception. He had 2 tackles for loss. Great work there. The tackles for loss are big. The interception was huge. He sprinted back to the spot, turned around, damn near dropped the thing, but caught it and had a nice little return. Showed a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of a ability to make guys miss on that nice return back. So great job for Denzel Perryman there. Up next on the good is Maxx Crosby. Not eye-popping stats. He did have 1.5 sacks, which is great. He had 4 tackles. He had a tackle for loss, but that big pressure in overtime, we missed the field goal. Seattle got 5-6 yards on their first pass play. Run play went nowhere. 3rd down, and Max lined out a wide 9 technique, super wide, and everyone knew what he was looking to do. Just get that angle to the quarterback. He beat the tackle, no problem. Forced Geno Smith to throw the ball a little bit earlier than he was hoping to. That pressure forced Seattle to punt, which then led to our touchdown. So we've had a lot of opportunities, especially like I said it specifically during the post-game show against Arizona. We got a lot of opportunities to a lot of 3rd down conversions by Arizona in that game. A lot of 3rd down conversions by Jacksonville in their game when we were up and we could have used a stop. And Maxx Crosby didn't come through. He's the guy that gets paid a lot of money to come up big in these situations. Not all sacks are the same. Not all pressures are the same. They mean more in the bigger situations. And in this game, he came up big in the big situation. So great job, Max, there. Combo good. Unprecedented. 2 for 1. Billings and Nichols combined. The defensive tackle spots played a great game. They combined for a 1.5 sacks. They combined for 9 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. But here's the big thing. They only allowed 2.8 yards per carry in the entire game. Now, Kenneth Walker III, who was a freaking stud, who's been killing it, he had less than 2 yards a carry in this game. And that is due mostly most part to Billings and Nichols stuffing up the middle. So great work there, great pressure up the middle on Geno Smith, 1.5 sacks, the 9 tackles, and also a tackle for loss. So great job there by our defensive tackles, Billings and Nichols. Our third down play was excellent in this game. Our third down offense and defense. Offensively, we were 8 for 14 on third down, which is a lot better than we have been. It's actually pretty good. If you take a look at it, it's 4 out of 7. So it's damn near, like 60-ish% around there, like that, 60-something percent, which is pretty good. Anything over 50% is good. And we held Seattle to 3 for 9, so 33% for them, which is also very good. Usually it's the other way around where we're very poor on third down, and we allow the defense allows the opposing offense to be over 50% on third down. But this time we flipped it, and it really worked out well for us. All right, that was the good. You can't have good without bad. If there is no bad, you can't have good. It just is what it is. So we have to talk about some bad here. Here we go. The 2 early turnovers by Derek Carr, I don't buy. I mean, look, I like to think I'm a little bit more objective on our quarterback than RJ is, unless Derek Carr throws a ball directly to a defender with nobody around Derek Carr, no pressure, just threw a pass where nobody was, and he gets intercepted. He's going to find some excuse as to why the interception wasn't his fault. Always. Unfortunately, there's no NAI, not at fault, NAFI, and not at fault interception. There is no stat like that. You throw the pick, you throw the pick. I understand if you drop it or whatever, but that first pass, it was a play action pass. It was a deeper route, and it looks to me like he threw it a little bit early because Davante Adams spun around. The ball was coming right there, and to hear RJ tell it, he just kind of waved his hand at it because he didn't feel like catching it. But what he was trying to do was knock it down because it got on him too early when Davante Adams turned his head. That was intercepted, and the pass, it was an ill-advised pass. Regardless if it was catchable or not, it's ill-advised for a reason. The triple coverage throw to Foster Moreau, it's ill-advised because things like that happen. You can get them knocked away. You can get them, tipped and stuff like that. That's why you don't throw that pass. So those were early in the game. We just can't have that. Especially that first play. You already got the ball, so that the opposing team has the ball coming out of halftime, and you're basically giving them a drive on their 12-yard line to start, on our 12-yard line to start. So if I had to pick a bad, that is a very bad thing. We can't have turnovers like that. Another bad is our defense allowed 34 points, the most points we allowed this game. If you consider that we gave them the Seattle Seahawks. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? My cat's right here fucking around. Seattle scored 34 points, and if you look at it, they got the ball twice in our territory. It's not that bad, especially considering the flow of the game. It was a back and forth game, man. We took the lead. They came back. We took the lead again. They came back. They took the lead. We came back and tied it. So it was a back and forth game. Still defensively giving up 34 points. There's never an excuse for that. Well, I mean, that's it for the bad, but there is one ugly. I don't know if you guys have seen this. At the ugly, on the first interception by Derek Carr, number 52 for Seattle, I don't know what his name is, jumped on the field and threw a block from the sidelines. So basically, after the interception, Seattle had 12 men. They took the 12th man thing literally, and a guy off the bench jumped on the field while the ball was still live and threw a block. I don't think he meant to throw the block. I think maybe he thought that the Diggs was down, but he wasn't. He wasn't touched, and Diggs ran the ball back, and the refs allowed it. So the refs allowing a Seattle player to come off the bench and throw a block and give Seattle the yardage, it's pretty damn ugly. We have we just have to just take it. If we're the Raiders, this is what happens to us all the time. We have last year in the playoffs, we had a random whistle from a ref that made the defense stop, and Cincinnati scored a touchdown, and they allowed it. So who knows, man? We're used to getting rough calls, but still, man, that was pretty ugly. All right, guys, that's it for the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad guys win 40-34 on an 86-yard touchdown run in overtime by Josh Jacobs. A great job there by him. Well, we have the Chargers up next at home. Gotta protect home court, our home field. It was a close game, a 4-point game, the first game of the season, game that we really could have won and should have won without the turnovers. They're a little bit more banged up than they have been the first time around. They're missing a couple of key players. We're getting some players back. It should be a recipe for a good game for us. Normally, we play these division games pretty tough. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Just make sure, everybody, we can't do this without you. Our numbers are growing, and we love to hear from you guys and know what you guys think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.
Congratulations for making it all the way to the end of our video. If you want Darren Waller to catch 20 touchdown passes next season and for Maxx Crosby to have 30 sacks, go ahead and subscribe and click the next video.